To me, data protection is about enabling. It's something that enables companies that I act for to optimise personal data and to obtain value from it. But it also enables the individuals whose personal data it is to exercise control over that data and to preserve their fundamental rights to privacy. Data protection is also something that I feel is essential to freedom of expression. If we don't have confidence that our privacy rights are being upheld, then we're much less likely to say what we think. So marketers should care about the data protection regulation because compliance with it could actually be a great marketing tool for them. The regulation really promotes the concept of seals, certifications and codes of conduct as public-facing mechanisms to demonstrate and to show off compliance. And I think that prudent marketing companies will use this as a way to differentiate themselves from the competition. Marketers will also need to understand the intricacies of their products, their services and their tools and the technologies that they use in greater detail in order to meet the likely requirements of the regulation of being able to provide information to individuals about how their information is processed, where it's stored and how long it will be stored for. Well, for me, the one-to-one marketing sector really needs to be conscious that personalised marketing should never extend beyond what is within the reasonable expectations of the customer or the individual. The concept of data processing always being within the reasonable expectations of individuals is a common theme throughout the regulation. And I think the more that this is considered when strategising about marketing campaigns, the less hoops marketers are going to have to jump through. For example, if you're confident that your campaign is not going to spook out the customer and that they would expect and understand how their data is going to be processed, then you wouldn't need to obtain consent and things like that. We're giving our clients the same advice that the Information Commissioner's Office gave to delegates at its last Data Protection Officer conference in March of this year. Quite simply, the best way to prepare for the new law is to make sure that you're compliant with the current law. Something that I think some people are unaware of is that the fundamental principles of data protection law won't change under the regulation. The main difference in my mind is the emphasis on companies to be more accountable in relation to how they handle personal data, which will likely arise through the privacy impact assessments that they'll be required to conduct, the data protection officers that they'll be required to appoint, and the data breaches that they will be required to notify. I think that the regulation will have an overall positive effect on the UK economy, and this is largely down to the idea of the one-stop shop. The concept of the one-stop shop is that multinationals will largely only have to answer to one data protection authority rather than, say, 28 across EU member states. And the decision as to which authority this will be determined on where the main decision making is taking place or where the company's headquarters are located. As the Information Commissioner's Office here in the UK is perceived as being an incredibly commercially minded regulator, I think we may see that actually businesses who are particularly data rich will choose to locate their headquarters in the UK for this reason.